Yeah, what is good, guys? I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. I didn't really do much. I was just kind of laying around, watching movies with my girlfriend. One of those weekends, but we got a crazy week ahead of us. We got election, CPI. I got a really big oil play for you guys. Very high probability of making money. So I promise you, you're not gonna want to miss out on this. So watch it. Trust me on this one. Um, Not really too much else to say. We're just gonna get right into the video. Make sure to show it some love, give it a like and subscribe, and let's get right into it. So to start off. Of course, Bitcoin. Still in that wedge, still breaking out, I guess. It's pretty slow. We're at that first target. Um, there's not really too much to say. I guess it's still in the wedge, still breaking out. We'll just have to see what it wants to do. But I think I'm just going to start off with oil pretty much right off the bat. So I spent a lot of time this weekend going over this, seeing what the probabilities are, what the possibilities are, and I was looking for a pullback on Friday. I really wanted to short Friday because of I think there were three main reasons. So the first reason being was this big trend line. This was a pretty clear, resistance. We went parabolic right up into it, and I wanted to short right here, but I did not because I was expecting a pullback and not a drop. I don't know how long, or I didn't know how long this pullback would last. This could be recovered by open, to be honest. So um, yeah, I didn't know. I just kind of sat it out. Better to just sit it out if I'm not certain about it. So that's what I did. But um, I think I'm gonna explain to you why I wanted to short it, so you can kind of use this to your advantage. So first off, I had to count the wave structures. Now there were multiple. One of them is a complicated count. It's a 1-2-1-2, and then you get an extended third wave. And the way I got my target is um, I believe with this, yeah. So with this, it gives me this extended target, and the extended wave likes to go to the 1.618. That's where we went to. So that was one reason. And then because this is wave three, I counted the waves for this structure, and I got 1, 2, 3. I measured the target for wave three with well, it's a smaller structure, so I was analyzing this wave by itself, which is the fifth wave final target, this one right here. Um, I guess I didn't draw it out. Scratch that. Rewind like 10 seconds. So the structure I was looking for was um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So with that being said, I counted this structure. That gave me this target, the 100% extension. So I don't know if that was confusing, but I just kind of wanted to put that out there so you can kind of see where I'm getting these targets, how I do it, what I'm looking at, so you can use it to your advantage. So that was really why I wanted to short it. Now I'm gonna say where I expect it to go and why. So I think I can clear all of this up and just kind of restart a little bit. So as you can see, I'm really aiming for this area up here. So there's three reasons why I'm looking for this area. So the bigger count is that I believe this is a 1-2-1-2, because if it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it would have been a wedge because the 4 went into the wave 1, but I didn't really see a clear wedge structure, which would have been something like that, if you know what I mean. Something like that. So it looks more like a channel, so I didn't think it was a wedge, and I eventually narrowed it down to that 1-2-1-2 scenario. So that's what I ended up with, being that 1-2-1-2, and after wave 3 completes, you get wave 4. So if this was wave 3 where I'm thinking we topped, and you had to go into the smaller picture where I believe this is, yeah, this is wave 1, 2, 3. Wave 4 can't go below wave 1, so I have to hold right here, and then fifth wave of this wave structure. So this was really difficult to kind of figure out what he was trying to do, because there were a lot of possibilities and a lot of things you had to kind of like add up together. So right now, what oil needs to do is it needs to hold right around here, because if you zoom in a little, um, if this is wave 4 right here, wave 4 has to hold 50% of wave 3, and that's what it's been doing really, right above 50% maybe if you raise it up to this one. So you can see what I'm talking about. 50% it has to hold there, or there could be more downsides. So I am looking to get out of this soon, probably this week, and take that short up here which I'm going to show you how I have this run. So I'm looking at two scales basically. First off, this scale, which gives me that target of wave 5, which I'm getting from this smaller structure here. So I'm kind of using two different wave structures to give me the target range. So this is wave 4, that gives me my target right around 95.64. And then if this is wave 3 here, I'm getting that target from the bigger structure, which would be right here, which gives me that target at close to 99. So this is quite a wide range. I'm not sure where I want to top because this is quite the wide range, and you have this trend line which could act as resistance, maybe drawing it from here. So there's a lot of reasons here that it could be topping in this region. So I think I'm going to give you the big play, which I would expect to play out over a time frame of probably a couple weeks in December, I'm assuming. So if this is a bigger wedge here forming, it has to play out perfectly, and by that I mean it has to follow this exact structure. It has to go up into this target, pull back below wave 1. If it doesn't pull back below wave 1, it can go crazy, it can go parabolic. But if it goes below wave 1 and it holds this trend line, recovers important levels, and then gets back up to this trend line, this is a wedge, and a very big one, which I would take a very big short position. And because wedge breakouts are very violent, they happen very quickly. I've showed you this in the past. It would probably take 2 to 3 weeks to make like 50,000. So, you know, if it gets up there, retraces, looking at the 50%, this is also a big demand zone. So ultimately, I would like to see this structure play out for a really nice short opportunity. But until then, I'm looking for it to hold. This is an important area to hold right around here. If it goes lower, you know, I'll be reevaluating that count and just kind of go from there. But if it gets up here, I'm taking profit, shorting, and then just kind of seeing what it does. So that's it for oil. You know, that was really the big thing I wanted to talk about. And we're just going to go on to the US dollar. So the US dollar, big spot here. We're sitting on that trend line. I don't know if this chart has been going around, but we are on a massive support here. If we don't hold this, the DXY is going to crash pretty hard, and that's going to give the US markets big relief. So this is really the big trend line to watch right now. Short term, I believe we're in an expanding wedge, which you know, it could be ready to break that bottom trend line. The less steep side usually gets broken. Maybe we test the upper side, but that's unlikely. But we're on the big trend line. That's really all you need to know. Something you definitely want to be paying attention to. So there's not really anything else to say. Just watch that big trend line. Apple, in my last video I pointed out all these gaps. We filled all of them already. I did not think we would fill all of them this quickly, but we did. We double bottom. Now we have a gap right here. I guess I can just move this one down. Same size. That's kind of funny, but yeah, we got a gap here now. That's something to watch. I'm gonna remove these because these aren't relevant anymore. Got a double bottom, gap here, and a gap way above. So Apple just had pretty bad news in China. Production slowing down or something. Let me make my picture smaller. Production slowing down or something like that. China locking down. But yeah, Apple, I'm not too sure what it wants to do. I think tomorrow we could see either that gap fill or we break that bottom. And I just saw this. We do have a gap down here, so that maybe gets filled. Apple, it's going to be a tricky one to play. I'm not planning on trading it. Really could do anything. So Tesla, not too much to say. Still at this bottom area. I really don't see any clear indications of what it wants to do now. Maybe lower. You got a head and shoulders kind of thing, but until it breaks this region here, I see a gap right here. It's hard to say. I really see no clear direction. I'm not touching this either. So this is something we've been waiting in the Discord. Make sure to join it. That's going to be in the description. I promise you, you will not regret it. We've been watching this for quite a while now, just waiting for the perfect setup with really good odds on our side. And this has been breaking out. You can see we broke this pretty significant resistance. We broke out of this channel here. There's a lot of reasons that this is kind of setting up to go a little higher. You got gaps above, MACD moving up. So what you would be playing this with is SOXL. This broke out of the channel. We've been waiting for this. Gapped above it. So you got a gap up here, gap up here. So this thing could go on a pretty big tear, especially if the market wants to rally, which I think the odds are pretty good of that happening. So SOXL, keep that on your watch list. The inverse SOXS, it's looking ready to like get annihilated. So if this breaks this trend line, this thing's it's gonna fall pretty hard. And I'm not sure where it wants to fall to. You got a gap right here. It's a 20% drop. So expanding wedges do like to return to their origin, so that does make sense. 20% drop, that's pretty nice. And you could play that with SOXL, SOX puts on SOXS. There's a lot of ways you could play this. If this decides to break down and this decides to keep going up. So keep that on watch. The VIX, this is very interesting. So it's really kind of setting history right now with this red streak it's had. Zero relief. We made a play based on the VIX on Friday. We made some pretty good money, which I'm going to explain soon. So you at this big support. I was expecting this to get tested. I'm going to show you a message I sent in the Discord. Sitting on this big support, you at this 9 count on the daily, even the 13. I went back all the way to like 2008, every single year, looked through really everything I could, and I could not see any time that this has had a red streak like this. So it's really conflicting because I want to be bullish on SPY, but then the VIX has had zero relief, but the DXY is about to crash. So there's all these conflicting factors, and you have a very volatile week coming up with elections, CPI, elections, that's on the 8th. There's a pretty good general bias that they're going to give the markets a rally going into that, during it, after it, and then CPI on Thursday. So a lot of things happening this week. Be ready to trade. So the VIX, I'm going to explain what happened on Friday, how we played it on SPY. So on SPY here, I guess I can just show you that right now. So Thursday night, we were really looking at the VIX. I was like, I think what I want is a big spike and then plummet. Maybe those non-farm numbers get that spike, and that's what we got. We got a really nice spike. We shorted at open. We wrote it all the way down, and I said I'm shorting mainly because of the VIX chart. I think we're gonna get to that line and bounce, and that's what happened. And then I got out early. I'm still in school, so it's really difficult with classes. I had to close my positions and stuff, so I missed that drop. But we played the bottom bounce, that little squeeze, so that was pretty nice. But we're gonna get into the technicals on SPY because it's hard to say what it wants to do this week. It could be range bound, or it could really start confirming a trend here. So I'm gonna show you what you need to look for to know when we are breaking out of the range. And just what you need to be watching. So the first thing, that wedge, this was the wedge I was waiting for kind of a while, to be honest. At a pivot point, I'm just going to get this out of the way. So the pivot point, I explained this last week, I believe right after FOMC. I thought we would get underneath it and probably recover. That's what happened. We broke the pivot, went to the 50%. So I can take this off now, unclutter it a little bit. But that's what happened with that pivot point I was talking about. And we're going to go in a little closer. So that wedge finally broke out. It went to the 50%, that's what I was targeting. And I said, wedge breakouts are very violent. They happen very fast. The breakout happened in 2 days. It hit the target in, technically 1 day. FOMC, then the next day, we gapped down lower and hit that. So did it in 1 day. I'm telling you, wedges are a really good pattern to know and understand because you can make a lot of money off of them. They're very consistent. And they're easy to spot. So wedges, I really do recommend learning how to trade those best you can. So to the downside, we could be moving down to the 0.618. That's I've shown you that numerous times. We've played it numerous times. So if we go lower, I would be watching this area to hold. And if you do not hold here, it gets pretty bad. You could be heading to new lows, as I've been saying, 320 to 340. But if it does hold, you could be going for over 400. So until we break that, the upside bias, I'm still considering 400 plus, and I would like to see that. If it doesn't happen, oh well. I'll play the downside, but I am biased towards that because over the weekend I did some researches into wedges because I was trying to figure out oil. Some stuff with oil. If you're in the Discord, you know what I'm talking about. But so wedges only happen in waves 1, 5, A, and C. So this cannot be wave 5, and it cannot be wave C. So this is either wave 1 or wave A. Now, unless someone can tell me otherwise that it happens in wave 3 or wave 4 or whatever, I'm gonna consider this as wave 1 or wave A. So this wave right here, and that kind of sets you up for either wave 2 then 3 higher, and that would ultimately take you much higher, or C wave, which brings us up to 410, fills this gap. So you got to be careful of what you really want to happen here. So, you got conflicting factors. You got the VIX relentlessly dying, DXY about to crash. There's a lot of things to consider here. So you don't feel the need to try to catch the whole trend because I think a lot of people are going to be getting faked out this week. So another thing to be looking out for is this volume gap here. I'm not sure why this rectangle is here. There's probably a reason for it, but I forgot. If you're in the Discord, I'll probably remember and bring that up. But anyways, big volume gap here. If you get over 377, the low 377s, you could be moving up to 382, over 382. So put this on your chart. Be aware of this. Very liquid region, so it would probably just squeeze right through it. As you can see in the past, we got rejected underneath it, squeezed right through it, plummeted right through it, rejected again. So keep your eye on that. That's probably going to be very relevant soon. And we're going to go to the daily chart. I don't have too much else to say, but daily MACD here, it's getting close to testing, so something to be aware of. If it crosses over, the momentum's really going to shift. And it's going to be a pretty powerful shift too. So daily RSI right at 50. Pretty interesting area under its moving average. So I think the next few days are very crucial for the general direction is what I'm trying to say. So it really needs to make big moves to sustain this upside here, or else this is going to cross down, shift that momentum. On the weekly here, looking at the weekly MACD, it's about to test as well. Same thing with RSI right on its moving average, but this is what I think is more important. Weekly MACD testing. Last time that happened, we rallied to 430 from 360. So right now, actually, I shorted in futures. I've been playing futures now. I shorted right here with the stop up here because there's a chance this breaks down. I like the risk reward, but if I get stopped out here, whatever, I'll see what it wants to do in the morning, trade accordingly. But if we break out, you're really going to want to be watching that 50% to get broken, because if it breaks that, it can go to the mid 360s, and that's where I would be considering buying if it breaks under. It gets a little scary, so really you're just going to kind of have to see how this week plays out. I might do a video during the week, but I think I've told you everything you need to know. I'm probably expecting range trading, bouncing around maybe till CPI, maybe big rally from the elections. It's pretty hard to say, so I think it's better off to just see how these first few days of the week play out. And actually, I wasn't planning on saying this, but yes, it's broken down a little. We'll see how that goes in a little bit. But anyways, on the weekly, we had a very bearish weekly candle setup inside bar, where this is you got wicks extending past both sides of the previous candle. So I'm telling you, there's a lot of conflicting factors here. You're just gonna have to see how this week. First few days of the week plays out. So that's where I'm gonna leave this video. Make sure to join the Discord. If I'm not on YouTube, I'm always in there. So join there. Join that Discord. Make some money. We're gonna be watching oil very closely, and we're gonna be making a lot of money on it. So don't miss out. Hop in there, and that's where I'm gonna leave this video. So peace out, guys.